Okay, this is problem number 4 on chapter 9, section 4. Read the problem, pause the video, and let's see the situation here. Okay, we have two groups of patients, and the first group is treated with sham treatment, and the other one with magnets. And here the claim is that those given a sham treatment have pain reduction that vary more. This word, whenever you see variation, this particular word, vary or variations, that means you're gonna run a test about a variance, okay, or standard deviation, right? Standard deviation. In this case, you have to take the claim that sham treatment have pain reductions that vary more than pain reductions for those treated with magnets. Okay, so this is going to be the null hypothesis and the alternative hypothesis. In this section, it's very important to keep in mind that S1, or the first group, either variance, the first variance, or the first standard deviation, or the first sample standard deviation, is the one that is the largest number out of the two. So sometimes they give you this information backwards, and you gotta be very careful about choosing the greater number as S1. Okay, so well, coming back to the problem. Here the null hypothesis is the assumption that says that the variance of the first group is exactly the same as the variance of the second group, and the alternative hypothesis is that the variance of the first group is greater than the variance of the second group. Okay, so whenever we have this situation, we have a right tail. Actually, we have a right tail for this particular problem. So this is the null hypothesis and the alternative hypothesis. The other important part we need to keep in mind is you need to know what your claim is. This is the claim. That is the claim. The alternative hypothesis in this case is the claim. Well, once you identify the null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis, you go to a calculator. Let me just go to the main screen, and you gotta go to stat and test. So let me write here stat test. Stat test, and then number, I have to scroll down all the way down, 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 and then until you see this option that says 2-sump F test. Okay, well, this type of test is a different type of distribution. It's not a normal distribution, it's not a T distribution, it's not a chi-square distribution. It's a new one that is known as the F distribution. Okay, so well, we press enter, and then by the default is on data, but we don't do data. We don't have the data. We have the stats. We have the summarized statistics of the samples. So let's go to stats, enter. So you need to highlight stats. Again, S1, or the sample standard deviation 1, is the greatest one out of these two guys. So if this one is the greater one, you have to type this as S1. In this case, this is going to be S1, the greatest one, right? The bigger sample standard deviation. So you input the data, the information here, n equals 20 right here. S2, the second standard deviation is 0.96, N2 is 20, and you don't forget to change the alternative hypothesis as well. Okay, and then you can either click calculate or draw. If you click draw, you're gonna get this picture. If you press calculate, let me just do it here. Pressing calculate here, you will get this all these numbers, this summary. Anyway, either way, I mean, this is going to be the test statistic, the one that is right here. This is going to be the p-value. Okay, in this case, the test statistic is 2.22, which is this number, and the p-value is this one right here. Okay, so now the next step is the conclusion, right? For the conclusion, we need to, what was the significance level here? Well, this is the significance level. It's 5%. The p-value is slightly less than the significance level, right, than alpha, right? So when that happens, we reject the null hypothesis, okay? When the p-value is less than the significance level, in this case this is less than 5%, okay, we reject. So we reject, and the claim is, the claim is on the alternative hypothesis, doesn't contain equality. That's why it's important to write this at the very beginning of the problem here. So original claim is on the alternative hypothesis, and you reject the null hypothesis. Is this situation right here? Okay, when the claim is an alternative hypothesis and you reject the null hypothesis. So we write, here we have reject the null hypothesis from this part. There is sufficient evidence to support the claim that those given a sham treatment have pain reduction that vary more. So we get it from this part. Okay, there is not sufficient evidence to support the claim that blah blah blah. I mean, whatever the claim is. Okay, so this is how you do this problem, and pretty much this is how you do all problems in chapter 5, on chapter 9. I'm sorry.